It felt like the moment had finally come for me to learn the truth. Not because I suddenly became smarter, not because I started obsessively searching, but because everything began to reach me on its own, without effort, as if the cards were opening one by one, and I was just watching the pieces fall into place. For years, he manipulated me slowly, not with big scandals, but with small phrases, subtle comparisons, carefully placed remarks. He made me doubt myself, my body, my worth. We had a daughter, a beautiful, bright little girl. He wanted at least one boy. He repeated it often. At first it sounded like a joke, then it became a wish, then it became pressure. A man needs a son. It's different when you have a boy. When our daughter was born, I saw happiness in him, but not fulfillment. I was still recovering from surgery, and he was already talking about next time. And then the change began. Exactly during that period, he became cold, irritable, distant. He stopped touching me, stopped looking at me the same way. He criticized me for nothing, said I had changed, said I wasn't feminine anymore, said I was always tired. I was tired. I was a mother. But now I know that during that same time in another city, his twins were being born. 2 boys. While I was feeling inadequate, he was living the moment he had always wanted. The first signs were not dramatic. They were details. In the car, I found a small blue toy car. It wasn't my daughter's. He said it belonged to a colleague's child. I wanted to believe him. Then a tiny sock with dinosaurs on it, too small for our child. Receipts from a children's store in another city. 2 identical sets of baby clothes, same size. I wasn't searching for proof. It was coming to me. On social media, he started liking videos with quotes. "The first time your son calls you dad." A father of a boy sees his name carried on. He had never been the sentimental type online. When I asked him, he laughed. "You're imagining things." But I had already started seeing everything. One night, without intentionally snooping, I read a message. "The boys are asking about you." I told them Daddy is coming Sunday. The boys, not 1, 2. In that moment, I didn't feel rage. I felt shame, a deep, irrational shame. That another woman had given him what I hadn't, that she had given him boys, that I had somehow failed. I know biologically the sex of a child isn't decided by me. I know that. But pain doesn't follow biology. I calculated the dates, their ages, and I realized that exactly when they were born, he had changed toward me, colder, more contemptuous, more critical. He compared without saying it directly. I had become the woman who didn't give him a male heir. She had become the woman who gave him 2. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He looked at me and said, "And if I do?" That was when I understood this wasn't just betrayal. It was complete lack of respect. After he knew that I knew, he became worse, as if it bothered him that the truth was no longer just his. He mocked me, said I was dramatic, said I depended on him anyway, said no one would believe me. The abuse didn't start with physical violence. It started with internal destruction. For years, he made me believe I was too sensitive, that I exaggerated, that the problem was me. He reduced my confidence piece by piece. One evening after an argument, I told him I wanted to leave, for my peace, for our daughter. He laughed. "Where are you going to go?" I went upstairs to check on my child. He followed me. He grabbed my arm. I told him to let me go. He pushed me. It wasn't a long, dramatic act. It wasn't a beating. It was a split second. But I fell down the stairs, I hit my head, and everything went dark. The last thing I heard was my daughter's voice screaming, "Mom!" She was 8 years old. When I woke up in the hospital, I was told she had called the ambulance. She gave them the address. She said her mom wasn't moving. She said her dad had left because he left. He didn't call for help. He didn't stay. He ran, lying in that hospital bed, my head bandaged, my child sitting beside me. I felt something different for the first time. Not shame, not guilt, not comparison. Clarity. It was no longer about another woman giving him sons. It was no longer about ego or who had been enough. It was about safety. It was about the fact that my daughter had seen her father push her mother and walk away. I filed a police report. I gathered everything: messages, receipts, history. I didn't try to save anything anymore, because the moment a man pushes you and leaves you unconscious, everything is already over. Today I understand something I couldn't articulate then. He didn't destroy me because I didn't give him a son. He tried to destroy me because he needed to feel superior. He made me believe my worth depended on what I could biologically provide. He made me feel ashamed for something that was never in my control. He made me shrink. But when the truth came, it no longer needed me to chase it. It opened on its own. And maybe the most painful lesson is this: the tragedy was not that another woman gave him sons. The tragedy was that I stayed for years believing I was less, and the moment I chose to leave was not weakness. It was the first moment I chose myself.